Yeah, so this problem is related to fluid reactions, reaction kinetics. So here the question is given as uniform sized spherical particles UO3 which is reduced to UO2 in a uniform environment with the following results. So the data is recorded with respect to time and the conversion of the particles. So varying the time from 0.18 hours to 0.733, and the conversion of the particles from UO3 to UO2 is given as the conversion varying from 0.45 to 0.98. Now in the question it is given that if the reaction follows shrinking core model, find the controlling mechanism. Find the controlling mechanism and the rate equation to represent this reduction of UO3 to UO2. So first we will find out what is the controlling mechanism. So as I have discussed in the class, for the shrinking core model, so there is a UO3 particle, unreacted core particle is there, and as the reaction proceeds there will be a formation of ash layer around this unreacted core particle, and along with that we will have a gas film resistance. So this is the gas film resistance. So in this question, to carry the reduction of UO3 to UO2, so what is the controlling mechanism? Is it a gas phase resistance, gas film resistance, or ash layer resistance, or is it because of reaction on the surface of the particle, reaction? So further data is given T versus conversion. So based on this data we should find out which data follows the controlling mechanism. So first let me assume the diffusion through gas film control. So as we have discussed already the derivation of this gas film control, and I have derived the expression for the relationship between time version and conversion of the particles, that is T by tau is equal to xb. So this relationship, it shows how the particle getting reacted and getting converted into product, and it shows T by tau is equal to xb. So since it is a linear equation, so I can write this expression as T is equal to tau into xb. So now as this data already given T versus xb, so it is in the form of a linear equation y is equal to m into xc, and intercept is 0. So it is a linear line equation. So where y is equal to t and x is equal to xb and slope is tau. So now what we need to do is, first we should plot a graph. We should plot a graph that is varying t versus xb. So t should be y-axis and x-axis is xb. So as the data is given already in the question, so you need to plot a graph. So once you plot a graph, you will get a graph something like this. All these points, if you join from the origin point, you don't get a linear line. So you can try. So as the data it is already given, you can plot a graph and you can check whether all the points are going through when you join from the origin, whether is it a linearly, is it fitting or not. So from this we can conclude that we can conclude that all the points are not passing through a linear line from origin point. Therefore gas film resistance gas film controls is not the controlling mechanism. Means to carry the reduction of UO3 to UO2, so here the gas film control is not influencing on the reduction of UO3 to UO2. So this is not controlling the reaction. So now let me check for the second case, that is second case is that is diffusion through ash layer control. So what is the expression for time versus conversion? What is the relation? So this is the relationship, we already derived this. T is equal to tau into 1 minus 3 into 1 minus xb whole to the power of 2 by 3 plus 2 into 1 minus xb. This is the relation. So here if you observe, so this is also a linear line, y is equal to m into x. So where y is nothing but t and slope is tau, and your x is this whole expression, x is that expression. So now we have all the data, t versus xp data is given in the question. So now you calculate this value, that is 1 minus 3 into 1 minus xp whole to the power of 2 by 3 plus 2 into 1 minus xp. So calculate this value. So you will get a data points like this. So now you plot a graph. So what is y-axis? It is t, and x-axis is 1 minus 3 into 1 minus xp whole to the power of 2 by 3 plus 2 into 1 minus xp. So if you plot a graph, then you will get a graph something like this. Even this is also when you plot a graph from origin, so all the points are not joining. So that's why this is also data doesn't fit. So for the reduction of UO3 to UO2, ash layer control doesn't follow. Ash layer controlling mechanism is not following. So let's consider for the third case, that is if it is a chemical reaction control. So let me take the different color because this will follows the expression. So what is the correlation for chemical reaction controls which shows the relationship between time versus conversion? It is T is equal to tau into 1 minus of 1 minus xb whole to the power of 1 by 3. Same again, the data was given t versus xb. So now you calculate 1 minus of 1 minus xb whole to the power of 1 by 3, because this is also in the form of y is equal to mxc, where y is t, m is slope, that is tau, and x is nothing but this whole expression. So if you plot a graph for this, as I already revealed the suspense, so all the data points, it is almost all following the linear curve, where y-axis is t and x-axis is 1 minus of 1 minus xb whole to the power of 1 by 3. So therefore Therefore, for reduction of UO3 to UO2 reaction, chemical reaction controls the mechanism. So for the same linear line, find the slope. This slope is equal to tau, because in this expression here tau is nothing but the slope. So your expression, if after finding out the slope, so you need to find out by, since I already calculated, I am giving the value directly. So you are going to get the equation as t is equal to, since slope I got as 0.99 into 1 minus, I will write this as same, 1 minus xb whole to the power of 1 by 3. So this is my rate equation. So in the question it is asked to find out what is the controlling mechanism and the rate equation. So here we finally got the controlling mechanism is the chemical reaction control, and the rate equation is t is equal to 0.99 into 1 minus xp whole to the power of 1 by 3. So this is rate equation and this is the chemical reaction control. So for this kind of question you need to just verify which one is the controlling mechanism. So in the examination also they may vary the date of t versus xb, and you need to find out what is the controlling mechanism. So maybe here in this problem we got only one, that is chemical reaction control. So but for the unknown data, for the unknown given information of t versus xb, you may get all the resistances also. So it may be possible that gas film control mechanism, chemical reaction control mechanism, ash layer diffusion, which all the three resistance may offer to reduce UO3 to UO2. So accordingly you should find out. So only thing is you need to plot three graphs and you should identify which one is the linear.